I once went to Salater. Be me. Aunt lives in northern Salater, near the border with Hester's. Aunt invites me to baby shower. Okay. Get on airplane. Arrive. Everyone is all dour looking. Walk to air terminal. Suddenly, crash. Look around at like 5 or 6 buildings collapsing like the WTCs. WTF. Cops walking around like nothing is happening. No one seems bothered. Should I help? JPG. Decide to not get involved. Hail taxi. Take me to 123 Anonymous Street PLS. Some Pakistani guy is driving. Doesn't speak, but hands me gibberish note. WTF is this supposed to mean? Just get in, I'll take you. He's one of the silent cabbies. Okay. Suddenly says, you see those buildings? Yeah. Bunch of babies died I heard. Had 'em in bags. Explain.jpg. Just says, you know, babies. Human babies. Keep asking him more. He's acting like it's normal to have a bunch of babies in bags. Looks at me in the mirror like I'm a dumbus. Okay then. Drive for a while. He pulls into a gas station. I'm getting suspicious and I start wondering if this is like one of those fake taxi kidnappings like in Brazil. Looking for path of escape if I need to. Instead, the taxi driver literally just walks off. He just fucking gets out and walks off into the reeds. WTF? Wait for him to return. He doesn't. I get out and walk over to a house near the gas station to ask WTF is going on. The door frame is painted with blood. I'm freaking out. Call up Aunt. Id what to tell you anon. Just take his taxi and drive to my house. It'll be fine. A JPG. Decide to do it because, what the hell? His keys still in the taxi cab. Notice that there is blood on the dashboard. Okay, I need to leave now. Looking for some way to get back to the airport, I pick up some magazine that was on the cab floor. It's some truly bizarre communist literature. Like, it's more schizophrenic than anything I have ever read. It's just ranting about the proletariat and railing against Aryanism. At this point, I'm worried that I'm going to be murdered or something, so I call 911. So I hailed this taxi and the guy abandoned me at some random gas station, and there is blood on his dashboard. Tells me to wait a while. 30 minutes later, some cop arrives. Weird gray uniform. He starts asking me some questions and then nonchalantly inspects the blood in the vehicle. I ask him if he will send me an Uber, and he nods. Then he fucking leaves. I go into the gas station, and the Pakistani taxi driver is there, and he's like, hello, what do you want? I call the cops again, they arrive and they go into the gas station while I get into an Uber. Different cop follows me to Aunt's house and asks me some random questions about the guy. Meet Aunt, tell her I'm going to be leaving early, and book the earliest flight back. It's $600 fucking for a flight that leaves tomorrow. Fuck me.jpg. Take the loss. I actually am worried app. Later. Sitting on guest bed. Look out the window. The sky is green. It's legit puke green. I actually walked out the door just to look. Run back in. Uncle Anon. Look at the sky. Haha, oh Anon, that's not a bad color, you know. He hands me a novelty boomer shirt with I survived Beeville, the state capital, on it. Thanks. Spend the rest of the night having the most bizarre conversations. Later, he demands the shirt back for some reason. Start getting a headache. In the morning, Uncle drives me to the airport. Notice the collapsed buildings and ask him WTF is up with that. He just laughs and says, nope. Get on flight and go back home. Headaches end when I leave. Weirdest place I've ever been. Here is another from the same thread. So, true story, I was once arrested in Oibandona for a crime I never committed. I'm not going to reveal too much information so as not to dox myself, but here's the short of it. Be me. Not going to say what my job is, again, so as not to dox myself, but I'm a consultant for .get assigned to help Mr. in Oibandona. Organization I worked for doesn't give me any details on the state. I've never been there in my life. I assume that Oibandona isn't too much different from Nebraska or South Dakota, the only other backstates I've been to. Get on bus in Sioux Falls. Travel into Non-Bormia. Mountainous AF pretty soon. Transfer buses at Nepkins Fork. New bus looks tough as nails, serious tires. Keep going east until mountains get absolutely insane. Mountains start to look like polygonal shapes and off colors. Weird AF. Kinda like what they say New Nantes is like, but not nearly as bizarre. Go through Dunderland Tunnel on Route 9401. Instantly start going up. Like, you would not believe how steep the incline of the road was. Almost vertical. Travel is super slow. Cars going down the other side traveling so fast that they're a blur. Spend 2 hours in the tunnel before arrive in Oyabundona's side. Welcome to Oyabundona, home of the human pawn. Travel east till I get to Lassenton. Landscape looks normal enough. No more huge mountains. Looks actually pretty flat. No sign of the insane elevation change. Get off bus in Lassenton. Ask driver if he has any advice for newcomers. Go to the hospital ASAP. What? The fucking second I get off the bus, my skin starts to hurt. Gets seriously bad. I'll share a personal story that happened to me in the woods. Be me. Out hiking in Appalachia with bros. See clearing up ahead. Dark figure appears. It communicates telepathically and knows my name. Bro, do you see this guy? Teeny to bro. Bro didn't hear me, but when I turn around the shade disappeared. My bro looks at me like he's seen a fucking ghost, asks me if I have my cell phone. Check cell phone. I have a text message from a number I've never seen before. Kill your friends and I will share the truth with you. Probably just some fucking spam, I ignore it. Keep following the hike trail as it gets dark. My bro turns to me and asks how much longer until get to the main path. Not too much longer, maybe, look at his face. Something seemed off about the way he looked, like his face was twisted in the twilight. He seemed paler than usual. Hey, Anon, you okay? He nodded his head, but I still couldn't shake the feeling that the bro I started hiking with and the bro beside me now were different in some way. Reached the main trail, literally near an abandoned graveyard in the woods. Some of the graves look like they've been here since the 1800s, very spooky. There's a strange sticky white substance all over the graves. Moans can be heard from the distance, it's the ghost of Coom's past. Get possessed by Coom or ghost. Coom all night. The graveyard is a tour site because it's so old and a group comes through in the morning. They see me Coomin'. What entities god demon spirit did I encounter? Be me 5 years ago. Redacted. See black orb made of spiders in front of me. I yell my babies and stretch out my arms to let them envelop me. Covered in spiders laughing like a madman. Start chilling on my bed laughing. 2 naked attractive women appear with green and purple skin respectively, both covered in white body paint. They try to sexually arouse me and entice me to fuck them. Have lost all interest in sex, still laughing. See it, it's a fucking gray alien. I feel intense fear. Fire a Kamehameha at it. It explodes into polygons like a bitch. Naked women start caressing me, but get mad I'm ignoring them and laugh cattily before vanishing. Feel suddenly like I'm dying. Everything goes black. Feel absolute terror. Everything that makes me vanishes, yet I can still receive stimuli. Lifted up into the night sky. Above earth now. See strange lattice of green energy like a net surrounding the earth. I am floating through the cosmos now. Suddenly find a planet without life. As if I were God, I begin carving mountains, lakes, and forests and creating animals that don't exist, as if out of clay. Feel a presence that dwarfs the power I felt in that moment. It's her, it's the place, I know both, somehow. I saw a dark apparition. Like a huge man made out of shadow stuff. Be me 15 or 16. It's winter. Deep snow everywhere, up to waist deep in some parts of the garden depending on the ground level. Somewhat bright even without the moon, with white snow everywhere. Live in my old house, no running water, so have to go outside to the loo to shit and piss. I used to smoke back then, but always hid it from my mum and gran. Went outside for a cigarette break as I had to hide it. Go to one of the bushes in my rather large backyard. Smoke. Facing the bush, there is a little mound with an basement for vegetables inside and a fence right behind separating our property from the neighbors, i.e. I'd be looking at a bush that is about chest high and with no leaves, and I could see a little mound and my neighbor's fence through it. Decide to take a piss in the bush meanwhile. Suddenly see something huge move. For about 2 seconds max. Huge man-like figure moving along the fence and behind the mound. Way above the fence, which is somewhat short of 2 meters high. So the thing was at least 2.1 meters tall, maybe even taller. Massive in size. Kind of seeing it in profile. Big head and shoulders but no neck, like if you had a blanket over your head and it covered you. Just lumbered quietly by the fence left to right about 5 meters away from me. No noise at all in deep snow. Pitch black, like a shadow moving against air, so it had to be something physically. Just as quickly as I saw it, it was over. I realized immediately I saw something that doesn't make any sense. I still don't know what it was. I thought maybe a moose or something, but there were no tracks in the deep snow, and it made no noise or any other sign that it was physically there. Be me. Be experienced psychonaut that doesn't act like a hippie burnout tard. Want to try DMT? Get some. Smoke DMT. Holy fuck, unlike any trip I have ever done in my life. Literally see and communicate with disembodied spirits. They tell me to marry my girlfriend. 15 minutes later, trip ends. Me, no way, really? Smoke DMT again. Disembodied spirits tell me to marry my girlfriend. Try to ask them questions. Who are you? What are you? No reply. Do this 5 more times. Same answer, marry her. Final time, I see the infamous machine elves. I watch what they're doing, making real-life objects above their hands. The TV was on. Something happened and immediately they all flip me off. Sober up. I look at girlfriend and I go, fine, I'll do it. Hey hun, want to get married? 7 years ago. Let's hear some DMT experiences. First time posting, so bear with me. I usually hang up it on K, but after a thread like this appeared there I dicted to look for more stories. Happened in 2015 in Brooke County, West Virginia. Be me 15yo. Going to cousin's last football game with my family. He was a senior in high school. Nothing eventful during the game, but afterwards everyone gets pictures and shit. I decide to stay with cousin for the weekend cause I don't live in the area. Get in cousin's car to head back to his house. He lives back in the woods a good ways, but not totally removed from society. On the way to his house you have to pass this small farm. Honestly never really knew what they did, but they had a wire fence surrounding a field, and when I'd visit I'd see some cows and shit there. Just passing the place, when I see a white mass by the side gate. Tell cousin to stop and back up cause I saw something. So he backs up and puts the headlights to the gate, and what we both saw we'll never forget. Bright white, almost reflective like the strips on construction vests or road signs. Body seems to resemble a horse or cow, but much too big, it laying down like cat does when they hide their legs under their body. I say that because we don't see any legs, was facing away from us, but we could see some sort of protrusion, that was the neck head. Had some sort of appendages on the sides of it which looked a lot like folded wings. It never moved, but we could tell it was alive because it made small breathing motions like it was breathing heavily. We stare at this thing for a good 5 to 10 minutes discussing this thing. Meanwhile it never looked our way or even really acknowledged our presence. Say fuck it and just continue back to his place. I decide to not tell my aunt or uncle and check back there in the morning. It was already past 11 p.m. Go back in the morning and all we find is matted down grass where Iz was chilling. Be me like 10 to 12. Trying to learn how to contort my tongue. Told that only a certain group of special people can do it, or some shit. One night I push my tongue to the back of my mouth and see trippy images. Think it cool, so I learn how to do that more often. Until one day the images turn into a room. A room that was clearly not my own. Queen mattress with stand to my right and a desk in front. As I lay on the bed I turn my head further right to see 2 doors along a wall. Wake up, cool stuff. Forget about the experience. Years later. Take DMT. See trippy stuff and have an extreme case of deja vu. Eventually see my old bedroom as if I were a child again. Open eyes to realize that I'm still where I was. Notice that the room I'm currently in is identical to the room in my dreams from when I was 10 to 12. Only difference is the light color and there are people now. Sit up and say I've done this before and ramble to my tripsitters. They told me this is what I said to them afterwards. Be me. Addicted to movies. Not a single dream in 2 years. Stop watching movies. Very weird dreams, sex, violence, death, sometimes with people I haven't seen in years. Sometimes these people start showing up in my Facebook and Twitter account the day I had those dreams. 2021. Start watching Ben 10 Alien Force. Dreams stop. Watch Ben 10 Alien Force, friends.